Good afternoon, everybody. We just finished the meeting. Kuwait and Indonesia, we asked for a meeting to discuss the Israeli decision not to renew the mandate of the temporary international presence in Habrun, في مدينة الخليل. We discussed it, and jointly Kuwait and Indonesia immediately after this, conference, we will press conference. We will circulate press statement to the member of the Security Council. In general, the discussions, I think it was a very positive discussions, and there was overwhelming support for, first expressing concerns about the situation and what this decision might entail, might exacerbate the situation in the ground, and it is also undermined the bilateral agreement between Palestine and Israel. Many member states regretted this decision and asked to reconsider it, actually. So you will soon see the press statement. The other thing, actually, we discussed also is there was general agreement that the President of the Security Council will meet with the Ambassador of Israel and Palestine to convey the discussions, what we have discussed. This is one. The second one, we also discussed the possibility of the Council go on a visit to the occupied territories. This has been discussed in the Council, and the President of the Security Council will also make consultation with all members of the Security Council, and he will get back to us to let us know what is the result of his consultation on this proposal. Thank you.
Wait a minute. Djani first.
Thank you very much. Just to add, both Kuwait and Indonesia raised this important issue in this meeting, simply because we are concerned of the deteriorating situation. We don't want what happened in 1995 to occur. We want to make sure that the situation that is already fragile and tense, and it's not going to worsen what has already been happened. The act by Israel unilaterally to terminate TIPH is also not in accordance with the Oslo Accord. And we think this is not a wise decision to be done. And what is at stake is the life of Palestinian people on the ground. And that is precisely the point that we wanted to have a press statement like the ambassador of Kuwait referred to. So we will continue with this issue. Sorry.
I just want to express our gratitude on behalf of the State of Palestine to my brother Mansour Al-Otaibi, the representative of Kuwait in the Security Council, and my brother Djani, the representative of Indonesia, for taking this initiative in the Security Council. And also we are grateful for the efforts of other friends in the Security Council for having this serious discussion, which is the duty of the Security Council to act. It is not sufficient to see Norway reacting, 5 foreign ministers of the countries composing the TIF international presence in Al-Khalil, and to see the Secretary General issuing a statement, Germany and many others, and the Security Council to remain silent. It is the duty of the Security Council to act. It is the duty of the Security Council on the basis of its resolutions to make sure that the safety and protection of the civilian population in the occupied territory, including East Jerusalem, to be ensured. And in fact, in the report of the Secretary General himself on the issue of protection, he gave several options, including issues related to a larger role to the United Nations to play to ensure protection of the civilian population. And international law, especially the Fourth Geneva Convention, expect from Israel to, as the occupying power, to ensure in all circumstances the protection of the civilian population in the occupied territory. I will be looking forward to meet with the President of the Security Council as quickly as possible. in order to listen to him of his briefing regarding of what happened in the deliberation today. And I will be also eager to listen to him about the possibility of the Security Council visiting the occupied Palestinian territory. I believe that this is a very appropriate step by the Security Council, and we will react to it in the most positive way and to organize, the visit the earliest possible, perhaps under his presidency during the month of February. Thank you.
Ambassador, can I ask you about the timing of the ending of this monitoring mission? At a time of rising settler violence, what message do you think the Israeli leadership are trying to send? Also, do you think it's a coincidence that we're now entering an Israeli election campaign, that this has happened at this time? And to the ambassador of Kuwait, that you talk about a possible visit, could you tell us, is this something that you want to happen before the end of your time on the Council at the end of this year? Would a visit just be to the West Bank, or would you like to go to Gaza as well? And perhaps you could explain to us the rules on Security Council visits. Could a permanent member, we know which one we're talking about, stop you from going?
May I, with regard, to the timing, I think that many UN agencies on the ground, such as OCHA and other agencies, are reporting to us that there has been an intensification of settler violence, including in and around Al-Khalil, Hebron. And also we know that there is a heated, debate in Israel from the different political parties related to the election that will take place early April. So it is very conceivable that the timing of not renewing for the international presence, the TIF, in Al-Khalil is very much related to these developments, which is extremely dangerous. It means that they are encouraging settlers to continue and to intensify their terrorism and aggression against the civilian population, which increases the pressure on the Security Council to shoulder its responsibility to make sure that the civilians are protected, and also that it is to the benefit of extreme rightist political parties who are trying to gain more seats in the Israeli Knesset to try to please the extreme elements by even this modest, small international presence in Al-Khalil, that they cannot even tolerate it, and they came to the decision of terminating it. This is, very alarming to us, and it should be to the Security Council. It is definitely alarming to the European countries that are composing this force or this international presence. And I believe that collectively we can succeed. The Security Council can rise to the level of taking steps to ensure the safety and protection of the civilian population as international law calls for.
If I may add just to what Ambassador Riyad said about the presence of the international, about the foreign presence of TIF. In the Council, when we discussed this issue, there was a general agreement also that this foreign presence was like an preventive tool. They are civilian. It was a symbolic presence. There was civilian, and they are unarmed, and they are not reporting even to the Security Council. So we thought that at least this is the least we could agree on as a mechanism to protect Palestinian civilians. But regarding your question about the visit, in 507 note, there is a set of guidelines about visiting mission. Yes, you need a consensus in the Security Council because you have to draft terms of reference about the visit itself, and you need a consensus for that. You need also a consent of all concerned state that you are visiting. So this is why we asked the president to, do round of consultation, bilateral consultation with all members of the Security Council, and he will come back to us to see if we could do this visit this month or the next month. It's not necessarily, it has to be during our membership of the Council, but we think, we are visiting many states, especially in Africa. Almost 5-6 times a year we go to Africa. I think our argument is that the occupied territories, it has been in the Council agenda for decades. I think we should go and do something. There is, set of Council resolution. There is a responsibility on the Council in this issue, so we have to do something about it.
Which initial reaction did you get? Which initial reaction did you get from the Americans regarding the visit or the proposal for the visit? And in case the Israelis are not willing to take back their decision, is there theoretically or practically any steps you think that the Security Council should take in this case to regarding this issue? Thank you.
As I said, the president will do the round of consultation, but I did not hear anyone said that we object, to this visit. I didn't hear that, but let's see what he will.
Mr. Ambassador, there is a question about the mandate, because TIF is not mandated by the Security Council. But I also heard a different argument that Resolution 904 referred to the group. So what's your argument in this regard? And why you think the Council has the right to address TIF?
Well, I think the most important part is the philosophical part, which is the Council is mandated to preventive action, and the Council is also mandated to save life. I think that is the important point that we have to take into account, and there are many resolutions that refer to this issue. So once again, when we discuss this in the room, most of the members are agreeable on having this press statement, on saying something in this regard. Because once again, what we're talking is the plight of the Palestinian civilians on the ground. And that is what the most important point that the Security Council has to address at this stage.
May I say something on this issue? When the massacre took place in 1994 in Al-Haram al-Ibrahimi, that was an obvious act of threat to international peace and security. And the Security Council correctly adopted Resolution 904 that called, among other things, to have an international temporary presence or foreign countries' presence in order to ensure providing protection for the civilian population in all of the occupied Palestinian territory, including, obviously, East Jerusalem. So it was not only restricted to Al-Khalil. And also there was another provision that called for the disarming of the settlers, because the person that committed that heinous crime in Al-Haram al-Ibrahimi was an armed settler. So therefore it was the Security Council that took that decision. It took some time during the negotiation and the agreement of the Oslo agreement that led, among other things, to the implementation of the spirit of that resolution of the Security Council. And it was endorsed by the two co-facilitators of the peace process, the United States of America and the Russian Federation. So therefore, since it was a resolution from the Security Council to provide protection and to prevent other, massacres of this kind against the civilian population, then it is the business of the Security Council to come back again and to react to it. It doesn't make sense that 5 foreign ministers of the countries composing this force to act and to express regret and to ask for more or less Israel to reconsider, and for Germany to issue a statement, the Secretary General to express a position, and so many other countries, and the Security Council, which is responsible for international peace and security and therefore protection of civilians, is to remain silent on this issue. So those who think that the Security Council, if there are any, my understanding that there is no atmosphere of this kind in the Security Council. Even some who were debating whether Israel has the legal right to cancel this agreement or not to cancel this agreement, they were arguing from a narrow angle of whether it is legal or not. If you want to argue this way, there are tons of things that Israel does that violate, international law, and therefore, if you want to argue it from a legal aspect, then argue the behavior of Israel in so many other behaviors and incidents of a legal magnitude. At the end, and I think that we thank you.
One follow-up question, thanks, on the trip, the possible trip. If all 15 members of the Council are unable to agree on this trip, which has happened in the past, are you prepared to push for an informal bilateral trip of 14 members, a little similar to the trip to China, which was described to us as not an official Security Council trip, even though all 15 ambassadors went?
May I say something before you? I think that it is too premature to try to say now whether the trip is going to take place or not. The positive thing is that there is an agreement and authorization to the President of the Security Council to begin the process of consultation in that issue. Let us give it time with a positive expectation that it might happen. Mansour.
I don't just one thing, that all Security Council resolution is binding. All Security Council resolution. Under Chapter 6, under Chapter 7, it doesn't matter. Go back to Article 25 of the UN Charter. It didn't actually clarify if it's only under Chapter 7 resolution is binding. It says all Security Council resolution is binding, and member state has to comply and implement them. This is one thing. On the visit, as I said, 507 note also give the option of not small group of ambassadors could go and do the visits. So it's up to the council to decide and the format. All the council member or some of the council member, but it has to be endorsed by all. We need a consensus on that.
Just to add, I'm ready and willing.
Thank you.